Guys, I got a new fan limited here. I bought this from another collector because I needed the nut on the bottom for one of the golden fan electrics, and figured I'd hang it and test it. So I hung it and I powered it up just to make sure it didn't have any issues before I did the video, and seemed rather slow. But there's no current draw on it. There's no rated current. So what I did then, I went and watched the video of my other one and saw that this drew less current. My other one drew like 0.85, 0.83, something like that, and this one only drew around 0.7. So I said, okay, well, something's clearly wrong with it. So I opened it up to test the cap, and let's take a look, see if I got enough hands here. Andy went to go get some dinner. He didn't have any dinner. I already had dinner. Is it working? What am I missing here? There we go. Cap is supposed to be 3. It tests out at 2.67. That is considerably low. Tolerance is usually 10%. So 10% of 2 would be 0.2. So this could be 2.8 and still be within tolerance. But yeah, I can't. Unfortunately, I can't do this one-handed. Well, Andy's here. Maybe he can hold the camera, and we'll get the rest of this. I hear him coming back here, but he might want to eat a sandwich, so we'll see. I would want to eat my sandwich rather than hold the camera. I'll try and do it one-handed in the meantime. Normally I recommend using a smaller screwdriver than I'm using, but these were pretty tightly in there, so I was not able to use the small one. Okay, so that's soldered together there, so I'll need to cut that. And you obviously want to cut it so you leave the wire end on the wire from the coil. So, hey, I'm sure you want to eat your sandwich. You mind holding the camera while I finish fixing this so we can get that documented, and then after that you can sandwich away? So, we discovered that the cap was indeed out of tolerance. It's a 3 microfarad cap, reading in at about 2.6 something, and 2.8 is the lowest it could be. It would be within tolerance. Personally, I don't like to keep a cap in operation that is below spec, even if it is within tolerance. If I go to the trouble of testing it, it's below. I'd rather change it out with one that's high but in tolerance. Sure.
By the way, I closed the trunk of your car. It's been open since I arrived here the first time.
I know. I left it open on purpose to remind myself to load all the fans that I need to load. But when I do something like that, I always second guess myself, because what if it rains?
Right. But also, it left that... Doesn't it leave the light on in there?
I can't remember if there's light in my trunk. I've had too many cars over the years. I can never remember which car has what.
Well, anyway, just so you know, that's why it's closed now.
Well, thank you for doing that. You are a considerate human being. So, by the way, I didn't show it on video, but I did disconnect one side of the old capacitor before testing it. You always want to make sure you remove something from the circuit before you test it. You only need to disconnect one side of it to remove it from the circuit. And of course, make sure there's no power applied, because you don't want to get shocked. But you don't need to disconnect both sides to test it, just one. But if you have both sides connected, you'll get a false reading, because it will include whatever capacitance the windings have, and you don't want all that. That's just going to be... Okay, I tried to make sure that this replacement capacitor, which is rather large, would fit. There we go, yeah, it fits. So, now we're just putting everything back together. And I took this down in such a way, because you can't remove the cap and the lower canopy with the fan hanging, because the way that the bolts. But I tried to leave everything as together as possible so that I wouldn't have to do a whole lot of reassembly. So yeah, I wonder if the person that sold it to me knew it had a bad cap, or if they were oblivious. I don't think they said anything about it, so maybe they didn't know. The fan still operates, it just seemed slow. That's another thing I forgot to show on video. I did test the replacement cap before I put it in to make sure it was within tolerance, and it was basically 3 on the nose.
Well, your screen seems kind of laggy. Like I'll move the camera and it'll freeze.
Yeah.
And then a few seconds later it'll come back. I don't remember your previous phone doing that.
It does that whenever I don't have it in airplane mode, because I am uploading the previous videos while this is. Where's the right button? Yeah, the video will not look that way. The video will be fine. Okay. Or at least it has, every time I've gone to double check and make sure of that it has. I mean, maybe there's laggy parts that I just didn't notice. I don't ever watch each video all the way through.
Sure.
But, when I've gone back and looked at it, it's always fine.
Cool.
So, somebody commented on one of my videos and said that the audio was lagging at some point, but then I watched it and it didn't lag for me, so.
Yeah, sometimes it just depends on what they're watching, or their internet connection, or
a
whole multitude of other things.
I didn't think it was me. Now I'm second guessing whether it's a good idea to do that or not. But now that YouTube only lets me upload one video at a time, it used to be you could upload several and they would all crawl along, Now they got it so they queue them. And, sorry, I got you there, didn't I? Don't gotcha, done it would hurt ya. Thought you'd get away. Something like that. Anyhow, that's from Parks and Rec.
It's a good song, or good show.
Yeah, you finally started watching it?
I used to watch it. I haven't watched it for a long time.
I've referenced it before, and I didn't think you got the reference.
Yeah, there's a lot of it that I haven't seen.
Yeah.
But I have seen quite a few episodes. For easy.
Poor light.
Crash.
Yeah.
For a while, my mom was really into that whole lineup. It was The Office, Parks and Rec, and 30 Rock.
That's a good lineup.
Yeah, NBC comedy lineup.
Yeah, I watched all of those shows. Well, not necessarily while they were on the air.
Alright.
Let's power it up and just make sure it's within spec now before we do the formal video. Haha, it's formal. Okay, it works better if I plug it in. 0.84, which is the same reading as my other one.
Yeah, it's a little faster, huh?
Yeah. I mean, they're not exceptionally fast fans, but when we tested it before...
Yeah, it was slow.
It seemed like, yeah. Okay. I'm satisfied.
Alright.
I will stop that video, or you can stop that video.